Hello everyone, it's me Luthfia. Today we are going to learn about teaching grammar. We will learn about introducing grammar, discovering grammar, practicing grammar, and grammar games. Let's start with introducing grammar. There are some ways that we can do in introducing grammar to the students. First, we can use picture to introduce grammar to the student. How to implement using picture in the classroom. So I will give you the simulation. Imagine that we will teach beginner or elementary student, and the material that we are going to teach is simple present tense. The first step that we should do in the classroom is showing the picture to the student. Here I will give you the example of the picture that is a doctor. Show this picture to the student and ask the student to guess the job. After the student answer, the teacher says some sentences and asks the student to choose the appropriate picture. So the teacher will say some sentences to the student and the student should guess the appropriate picture. For example, the teacher will say, she checks the patient, so which one is the picture? Or she gives medicine to the patient, which one is the appropriate picture? The student should choose. After that, the teacher shows the pictures again to the student and asks them to tell what the doctor does. So when this activity done, the teacher should show again the pictures to the student and ask the student to tell what the doctor does. After the activity is done, the teacher should ask the student to choose one job and describe the job in 3 sentences. After the student found the job and they finished and described the job in 3 sentences, the teacher can ask the student to come in front of the class, tell about the job in sentences, and ask the other student to guess what the job it is. For example, the student will say, she go to school every day. She teach the student and blah blah blah. So the other students should guess what's the job. That's how we use picture in introducing grammar to the student. Besides using picture in introducing grammar to the student, we can using context in introducing grammar to the student. How to use context in introducing grammar to the student? I will give you the simulation. So imagine that we will teach intermediate students and the material that we are going to teach is passive voice with models. So the first step that the teacher should do is asking the student what they would change if they were made word leader for a year. After the student answer, the teacher can ask the student to do mini quiz in the website. So the teacher should provide a website with a mini quiz and ask the student to do the quiz. And this is the example. After that, ask the student to look at the verb phrase in bold. So this is the example. Shouldn't be asked be stopped, must be done, and etc. And then the teacher explained about the language focus, classified with model. So the teacher should explain the material about passive voice with model to the student. And then after explaining the material, the teacher gives the student exercise. So this is the example of the exercise of passive voice with models. After the student finish in completing the tasks, the student with the teacher discuss about the answer. And then the teacher asks the student to change the exercise given before into active sentences. So that is about using context in introducing grammar to the student. Let's move to the next topic, that is discovering grammar. Can use puzzle in the teaching and learning process, and how to use puzzle. So I will give you the example. Pretending that we are teaching the beginner students and the language focused is EG and in adjectives. The first step that the teacher should do is asking the student to match the sentences with the appropriate picture. So the teacher will give these pictures to the student along with the sentences. And the students should match these sentences with the appropriate picture. After the student done, ask the students when we use adjective with ej and when we use adjective with a. And then get the student to make sentences by using eg and in adjectives. So that is about using puzzle in practicing grammar, in discovering grammar. Next is practicing grammar. There are some activities that we can apply in a classroom. For example, drill chain. How to do drill chain in the classroom? So imagine that we will teach beginner students. The language focus that we will teach to the student is conditional sentence type 1. The first step that the teacher should do in the classroom is telling the student that a man is sitting in a cafe. He really, really wants another coffee, but his train leaves in 5 minutes. So, which one the man choose, coffee or train? And then elicit a first conditional sentence from the student by saying, if he has another coffee, he will blah blah blah. Accepting any reasonable sentences ending from them. Correct the suggestion if necessary. When you have a correct sentence, nominate a student to use the end of that sentence as the beginning of the next. Then do the same with the next student. So this is the example of the activity. If he has another coffee, he will miss the train, and blah blah blah. Then continue the story until it becomes too absurd to go on with. So start a new situation for a new story. That is about drill chain. The next activity in practicing grammar is read and retell. How to implement read and retell in the classroom? So imagine that we will teach intermediate students, and the language focus that we will teach is simple past, past continuous, and past perfect. First step is give the student a reading passage and check their understanding. After that, ask the student to underline the past tense verb. When the student finished in underlining the past tense verb, the student along with the teacher discuss about the answer. And then the teacher can ask the student to talk about their past experience that almost similar to the reading passage. So that is about read and retell in practicing grammar to the students. And how about grammar games? What kind of games that we can apply in teaching grammar? We can use ask the right question. How to do that? So imagine that we will teach elementary students and the language focus is WH question. The first step is the teacher should divide the student into groups. Each group will get a set of cards that are representing word or word phrase. And this is the example of word or the word phrase. And then the teacher asks one of the team member to take one card, and he or she is not allowed to show it to everyone. The student has to ask the question to his or her team members until the team members find the right answer, and keep going the activity until finish. So that's it about ask the right question. The second games that we can implement in the classroom while we are teaching grammar is words envelope. How to implement words envelope? So this is the example. Pretending that we are teaching the student in the intermediate level. And the language focus that we are teaching is comparative and superlative. The first step that the teacher should do is divide the student into groups. Each group will get an envelope that contains words, and then ask the student to arrange the words inside the envelope. So that's about words envelope. So that's it about teaching grammar. If you have any question, you can drop your question in the comment section below. See you in the next video. Bye.